What are gun rights in Belize? You know anything about firearm ownership in Belize, Al?
I know a little bit, not too much. I believe you have to be a resident. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. You have to get a permit. Once your permit is issued, you're allowed to have your weapon and a certain amount of ammunition. And I don't know how they decide how much ammunition you're allowed to have,
Sure.
but it's also my understanding that once a year on your birthday, you have to go and get your gun inspected and have your ammunition looked over. And if you're allowed to have 10 rounds and you only have 9, you have to show something that shows where that 10th round went.
First and foremost, I mean, someone that's asking us, is it legal to own a firearm in Belize? With the proper license permit, yes it is. I would tell you that it is, in this country, firearms are highly regulated, but that doesn't mean that you cannot apply for a permit and be granted that permit. I will tell you that there are several different varieties of permits, so it's not just one. A lot of people that are involved in agriculture and farming, they get shotgun and rifle permits because they are involved in farming in rural areas.
Right.
There are also permits that are for personal protection, people that may work with money, banking, they maybe a more risky activity where they're carrying valuables. A special protection license is available. That typically involves a handgun, a pistol of sorts. You're right, you have to be a resident. I would tell you that the cost of permitting, the annual permit fees for firearm ownership vary depending on whether you're a resident or a national, a Belizean national. Far cheaper to possess, own a gun, and pay for that permitting as a national of Belize. On an annual basis, you have to renew that permit, and the application itself is routed to the Belize Police Department. There is some extensive vetting done, investigation on not only the applicant, but also where that firearm will be stored. I would tell people that it's a highly regulated environment for firearm ownership in Belize, though not illegal, as long as you follow the proper path. I can also add that it is very expensive to possess a firearm, and those permitting fees are quite high. The cost of ownership, acquiring a firearm in this country is extremely high, sometimes as high as 200%. So whatever that firearm might sell for in the United States, double it, and again. So, but legal, and there are legitimate paths for that.
So I've been asked before too, I'm from the US, a lot of us in the US have a lot of weapons. I did not bring mine down. Mm-hmm. If you were moving down here and wanted to bring one or more, what would you be able to import those? I assume with the proper paperwork and everything.
Sure.
But I assume then there would also be duties.
There are quite a few hoops to jump through. Now, the permitting process, firearm possession, that's handled by the Belize Police Department. The Ministry of National Security actually is where you obtain permitting to import a firearm. You mean make an application to them and be granted that application for importation of a firearm before you import it. So then, once you have that permit and the license to possess that firearm, once you have that permitting in place, now you can go purchase or go and bring in that firearm, because it is all that permitting, both the import as well as the possession, that permit, all tailored to that specific firearm, that number, that firearm. And you have to basically know what you want to buy in advance and import if you haven't already obtained it or if you don't own it. If you've already owned it, obviously that makes it easier if you're coming down or retiring down here. There is a proper procedure that you must follow, but it's possible. Some have done it now, so it's doable.
So you import your guns, you import your weapons, you have them. You go for your annual renewal, and for whatever reason, they decide not to renew your permit for possession. Do they then take your gun?
I would suspect that they would. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have any experience with that. I haven't seen that happen, but if your permit has been revoked for whatever reason, and I've seen that through the court system, yes, you would need to immediately surrender those firearms, because I would tell you that the permit for firearm possession, ownership, it is for you and that firearm. It's not that it's a blanket or broad permit to possess a firearm, any firearm. No, it's for that particular singular firearm or multiple firearms, but actually the serial numbers of the firearms are inscribed on your permit itself. So you couldn't just pass it to me or whatever.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. It's a formal process. All right?
All right.
And so that's the status. Yes, it's doable. You can import firearms. You can be licensed to possess firearms, but it's not automatic. It's not there's no reciprocity either with any state in the United States.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.